Chapter 32. Science of Breathing to Overcome Egoism. Egoism is a very significant attribute in human personality. Without egoism, no work can be accomplished. Certain level of egoism is required to get going in the life. Egoism gives mental force to work, to exert, to achieve the goal. Without egoism, there is no desire to achieve anything and no energy to execute. Egoism attributes power to work and to accomplish something unique. Certain amount of egoism is always required to be active in realm of existence in life. On the contrary, egoism of an individual does not allow listening even good viewpoints of others. Egoism cannot tolerate peers. Egoistic person cannot tolerate competition by another. He cannot tolerate that he is inferior to anyone. Even if egoistic person does not know, he projects as if he knows everything. He does not honor knowledge of anyone. He discards even his superiors. He lives in his own world of thoughts. Egoistic person always finds faults in others. He considers himself most superior in all respects. He always desires that everyone must respect him, although he himself does not bother for anyone. He is always full of anger. He cannot tolerate defeat in any sphere. He has no regards for virtues of anyone. Egoistic person always finds faults in others. He considers himself most superior in all respects. He always desires that everyone must respect him, although he himself does not bother for anyone. He is always full of anger. He cannot tolerate defeat in any sphere. He has no regards for the virtues of anyone. Egoistic person does not take any responsibility of self-defeat and group defeat. He always blames others for loss and defeat. He always tries to manipulate statements and his promises. He is not trustworthy in any walk of life. He does not command intrinsic respect from peers, subordinates, family members, and his own kith and kins. Egoistic person is always shrewd and diplomat. He misleads others to show his superiority for his guidance. He always criticizes others if they don't succeed by following the path he recommended, even if his recommendation is inferior. He never takes responsibility of any failure in realm of his life. Broadly speaking, a child must have certain egoism to negate his parents' wish and thinking to have self-esteem to execute what he desires in life. His egoism should not be curbed to build his personality in earlier age till he gains some wisdom. Gradually, he must be guided to align on right track and obey his parents. As child grows, his ego has to be shed down for learning and accumulation of good habits. If one remains in egoism at the learning stage, he cannot get better education. He cannot cultivate wisdom. His egoism must be transformed to manifest mental energy to learn and to acquire wisdom. However, certain level of built-in egoism helps to be a better student, otherwise child will remain dull. But egoism must be in defined boundaries. Basically, egoism is a tool. It must be sharpened precisely. At different occasions and at various instances, it has to be shut down. It must be known that for gaining higher wisdom, egoism is a big hindrance. If one is not able to dissolve and overcome egoism in his life, he is likely to be deprived of higher success in life. Nobody bothers for an egoistic person. He will not have good friends. Only yes men will surround him to boost his egoism and take his egoism to a higher level for their selfish, intrinsic motives. Peers will not be cooperative with an egoistic person. He will be left all alone in realm of continuity in life. In realm of continuity in life, number of discontinuities appears in his life when he feels loneliness and nobody shares unhappy moments of his life with him. No one will be sympathetic for his failures. Lack of wisdom because of his egoism creates void in realm of his existence. Hence, egoism is to be applied judicially with discrimination in life. There is no life without egoism, and with egoism, one has to be extremely cautious. In realm of life, people generally have egoism of power, money, position, knowledge, beauty, and untimely success in life. Some have egoism of capable and successful children, honorable caste and family, and honor in society. Any cultivated talent makes a man egoistic. He starts considering others very inferior. His egoism is reflected in his gestures, his looks, his talks, and even his walk projects egoism. He or she dresses in such a way so that his egoism is reflected to show his unique personality. In society, egoism is based on comparison. One compares himself with peers and considers himself superior, and thus he boosts his own egoism. When cycle of life takes a gloomy turn, he loses prestige, power, and whole achieved success is drained due to various unforeseen reasons. Then such an egoistic person feels miserable. Then no one cares for him. Nobody consoles him. He is left all alone. His egoism disappears. If somehow he is able to visualize his inbuilt personality, his past, his egoistic way of living, then only he repents in his life. The basic question is as to how egoism is to be transformed in positive mental energy for overall materialistic and spiritual growth for honorable living. It must be known that human being in subtle way revolves around mind, consciousness, and spirit. Egoism is a subtle part of mental energy. It needs to be transformed in creative positive energy. First of all, one needs to look within himself. He needs to analyze subtle mental tendencies of his mind. These can be sex, greed, anger, undue attachment, besides built-in egoism in his personality. If one perceives that he has egoistic personality, then he is required to be vigilant of his mind. He has to be conscious of his activities and his attitudes. All actions he must perform with full awareness. If he develops awareness in his all activities, he will conceive as if someone is watching him. In that case, no egoism can influence his personality. As per the law of observer effect of quantum mechanics, his all activities will turn to be refined if he is conscious and vigilant for all his activities. This will consume his egoistic mental energy, transform him intrinsically, and this way of living will make him calm and change his lifestyle. His egoism will be dissolved gradually. Furthermore, awareness of breath and being with discontinuity of breath facilitates him to absorb cosmic energy of universe in moments when he is in the state of void, that is, when his inner breath comes out and fresh breath yet to enter the system. This will cultivate subtle virtues in his personality and turn him to be egoless personality gradually. Above process gradually transform his egoistic nature and his egoistic pattern of thinking and living. This process can be further enhanced by transcendence of time and space, by annihilation of mind and manifestation of consciousness. Thus, excessive egoism can be controlled. One can change his attitudes in realm of life. He can become better listener. He can develop nature, habit of having regards for others. His subtle virtues and qualities will be enhanced. In this way, he will develop liking for others, and gradually he will transform himself to a perfect human being with developed intrinsic subtle qualities. His physical well-being will be improved, and he will have overall better materialistic development. Unless the egoism is not transformed, one cannot surrender. Without surrendering, wisdom in life will be far away. One can only be on periphery of learning and understanding without shedding intrinsic egoism. He cannot reach to the center. Center is the source of energy, wisdom, and deep knowledge. Center is a governing force. Only an egoless man can reach the center to be wise. One has to be conscious in all his activities to overcome egoism in life. Developed egoism in realm of life has to be shut down consciously to gain the nectar of divine wisdom and to be self-realized. In short, he has to be an innocent-like child, consciously shedding his egoism to enter in the regime of Almighty and to become one with Him. Then only he can complete the journey of human life successfully. It is not the path of ignorance with egoism, but it is the path for a knowledgeable person who has consciously shed his egoism and cultivated childlike innocence in realm of his life. He then is a perfect human being. Science of breathing can assist him to be egoless. He must observe breathe in and breathe out. He must develop the art to be with the discontinuity of breath. In this way, subtle divine energy will pour automatically in his senses, and gradually his built-in egoism will be diluted. Finally, it will be nullified, and he will turn out to be a humble person without even traces of egoism.